Development plans require a public hearing, however. No action will be taken by the Planning Commission members. Plats, rezoning, revised master plans, and street renamings require a public hearing. And once the public hearing is completed, the Planning Commission members will deliberate and render their decision. The Planning Commission members with their personal or financial interest in any petitioner's request are required to recuse themselves. We have on the Planning Commission is Kippy Tate, is Cruz Reeve, is Clay McInnes, Patrick Moss, Jerome Moore, Frank Cook, Ann Clements, James Reed, and Buddy Hardwick. Members and petitioners are requested to please speak directly into the microphone. The minutes are being recorded for legal purposes, and this is the only way to accurately pick up the audio. Since tonight we have 7 members, and it takes 5 votes to pass a motion. Because of that, if for any reason, because of the number that we have present tonight, if you'd like to delay your request, please let us know. Okay. Tommy? Tommy, are there any changes?
Yes, sir. The 9th item on the agenda regarding a rezoning on Taylor Road has been withdrawn.
Withdrawn again?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 9 is not on there. Okay.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Is there a limit as to the number of times you can withdraw an item before we just have to not consider the thing?
I hope you're asking him.
I mean, well, I'm asking Tommy, yeah. I just want to be recognized with
Ask
somebody from
No,
the...
sir.
No limit. Okay. Y'all, we are going to, rather than go to the first item, we had a plat that was approved last month, and since that period of time, there's been discussion of trying to do a rescind that plat. We have spent most of the day talking back and forth with Mr. Pruitt, with the owner, with other members of one of the members that's not here, and we feel like that there has been an effort on all parties to try to work this out. The approval of the plat is a plat that would allow 72-foot lots to be developed in Taylor Lake under the next plat that's being done out there. There was some objection and there was some conversation with some of the homeowners who had passed this through. I think Glenn, and Glenn brought that to our attention in an effort to try to solve and work this out. We have spent pretty good bit of time talking back with Mr. Tatum, and at this point, I don't know where y'all are, but I will announce to you that Mr. Tatum has agreed that he would rescind his approval of the 72-foot plat, subject to there not being a delay in his moving forward under what he already has the right to do, which is to develop 80 to 85-foot lots. So what he is that I don't know any other way to resolve it other than allow the man to do what he says he's going to do. I have from him, he was out of the state today, and I have an email that I'm going to read to you right quick. And this was going through Jerome Moore today, and it says, Jerome, pursuant to our conversation, I'll be willing to rescind my request for 72 foot wide lots and build 80 foot lots if we can move this project forward without any other delay. So he is willing to do that, and anyone here, we don't have to do a public hearing or anything on it, but I do want to be able to allow somebody to have comments on this. He has agreed to do what he has the right to do. So it's got to be subject to the city has got to receive the plat from Mr. Tatum that will be submitted for the March Planning Commission meeting, which would be the 80-foot lot plat. And in doing so, he's being put on notice that he's got to have it to the Planning Commission by the staff by March the 1st, I think is the date that he understood or that y'all had agreed to. So what he's going to do, as a matter of fact, I talked to him from here just right before this meeting to make sure he understood what I was going to be telling the homeowners. And he agrees. He said he will have that plat. He says they're working on the plat right now, and he will have an 80-foot lot plat that will be presented to the Planning Commission next month at the Planning Commission meeting. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask first if anybody has a question or would like some more detail that's on the Planning Commission, some of which have hearing this for the first time. And if there's not any, I'm going to ask if someone has a comment from the homeowners that maybe wanted to make a statement. We're not here to try to talk about the things that may or may not be being done in the neighborhood. That's not what we're here. We're here to talk about the plat. So, does anybody have a comment or a statement?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I happen to know of one person that would like to come forward, and her name is Dr. Mangum, and we would like for her to speak to us if she still feels the need to do so.
Okay.
First of all, I would like to say good evening and thank you for this opportunity to speak on the behalf of Taylor Lake residents.
Ma'am, I apologize, but would you give name and address for the recording, please?
My name is Angela Mangum. I thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the residents of Taylor Lakes.
Give address, I'm sorry. Give address also. Yes, ma'am.
My address is 5500 Hollister Drive, Montgomery, Alabama, 36116.
Thank you.
The information that was shared today, we have representatives from Taylor Lakes here today, and I just want to say that the compromise to build 80 feet lots instead of the original proposal is a compromise, and I don't want to speak on behalf of all of the residents. If there's anyone that is present that has an objection to the proposal, the revised proposal, I would like them to recognize them at this time to ensure that everyone present is in agreement.
And let me make sure that there's not any misunderstanding. It's not. Yes, it was a lot going back and forth, okay? And it was a long day for today. But all he's doing is what he already had the right to do. That's what I want to make sure you understand.
Correct.
It was a 80 to 85 foot in the PUD, and he's making a 80 foot, so it wasn't like it's a change. He had the right to do it, okay?
All right. Is anyone not in agreement with the terms? That would like to speak from a resident? Thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Doctor.
Ma'am. Thank you for your comments. Okay. Now, do you want that, Helen, in the form of a motion, or do you want, how do you want this? Do you want, I know what you and I had talked, okay.
We don't need a motion, just
So-
the fact that you brought it
So
up
we
like
have
you
made it, we have made a public announcement as to what, and they have the email that was sent to me that does say that he's willing to do the 80-foot lots, okay?
We're covered because he has a deadline to submit the plat.
Okay, okay. Thank y'all so much, and I hope that worked out to what you were trying to get to. I think it's a good solution for everybody. Okay, now, Tommy, you want to start on the rezoning at East Chase, please, sir? Thank y'all. We're going to give y'all just a minute, if you don't mind, to slide out so we can hear, okay? Thank y'all.
First item is by J.M. Garrett and Son on behalf of Laura Mai and on MAP Hospitality, requesting to rezone 2 parcels of land containing .20 acres, approximately 750 feet north of Berry Hill Road and 50 feet south of East Chase Lane, from institutional to B2.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is Richard Bollinger. I'm with J.M. Garrett & Son Engineers and Surveyors, and I'm here representing MAP Hospitality. And I'd like to just give you a quick little handout so you see how this fits together, what they're actually doing. They had to buy some additional property from the church in order to satisfy some things for J.P. Morgan for an entrance and exit out onto the highway.
Thank you, Richard, because that was going to be my first question. How you going to get to it? So,
Well,
thank you.
yes, and it's taken quite a while to work with J.P. Morgan, and each time they submitted something, this changed, and so this is what they finally today have decided on. And of course, all this will actually come back through and eventually in a development plan, and all these little small parcels will be put together in one large parcel as they develop each section of the property that they have out there.
Does anybody have, excuse me, did you have anything else on it, Richard?
Yeah.
Anybody have a comment or question on the planning commission? What's going there?
There's a hotel, full service, 6 stories tall, on a piece that's facing into that particular property.
Okay. Okay.
And this actually, what it does, it brings all their zoning to become the same zoning.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Any comment, any questions? Anybody wish to speak for or against it? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion to approve. Mr. Cruz is the second. All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Second item is presented by Cornerstone Land Surveying, LLC, representing Mariana Ray. It's a request for final approval of Ray Plat Number 1 on the south side of River Road, a private street, 900 feet west of Casada Ferry Road, in a flood hazard and R50 zoning districts.
I am Brian Shirley with Cornerstone Land Surveying. Address is 3512 North Waringwood Drive, Montgomery, Alabama, 36109. Request final approval for a single-family, single-home lot.
They've already started the house, haven't they? The foundation.
They brought in some dirt, and last trip I made out there, they just brought in some dirt, put some dirt down. They were not aware of all that needed to be done properly.
What are they doing build up to get it above flood elevation, or what's the flood elevation out there? Did they even mention to you that, what do they got to build up? That's what I'm asking.
I'll have to look at my folder, but from my memory, I did the elevation certificate first, and I believe the flood zone is going to be about 6 feet above the existing grade, and then with the 2-foot freeboard, about 8 feet.
So you got to put 8 foot of field, is that what you?
Their plan, as I've been told, they're, changing here and there, but is to do like one of the Florida homes where it's like up on stilts. And
Yes.
this is a small cabin for Miss Ray's son. She has no interest in selling the property.
Yes.
In fact, she's doing this to accommodate, city requirements.
Yes, sir.
So it's just going to be a small cabin. He's going to pull his pickup and a little four-wheeler up under there, and like one of these Florida homes near the coast.
All right, sir. Okay. Any comments, any questions? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against it? If not, motion's in order.
Move to approve.
Move to approve. Ms. Cook and
Second.
Ann, I think Ann got ahead of you. All right, all those in favor? Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Next
Thank
item
you,
is-
Council.
Next item is by Goodwin Mills and Kaywood on behalf of Montgomery Chamber of Commerce Foundation, Inc., a request for final approval of Business Resource Center Plat Number 2 on the west side of South Court Street between Wilson Street and West South Street. It's a T4R Smart Code District.
And I'm gonna, since we do have seven folks, I'm gonna recuse myself on this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Tate's not in the room right now. Do you need to get him back in the room?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. Thank you. Tell him we need his body. And y'all, it's only because I've got I'm on another board and it's there, and so I'm just being overcautious, I guess.
Pass that gavel, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry?
Pass that gavel.
Pass the gavel.
Pass the gavel.
Oh, yeah.
Just a second, Susie.
Oh, it's fine.
Renegade. We need your vote.
Need your vote.
Okay, ma'am, go ahead.
My name's Elizabeth Brasington with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood. I'm here on behalf of Montgomery Chamber of Commerce presenting Business Resource Center Plat Number 2. This lot has 316 feet frontage around South Court Street, 419 around Wilson Street. It's basically the block right there is all owned by Montgomery Chamber, and this will create 2 larger lots for them.
Any comments from the board?
That's where the charter school is going to be, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
That's where the charter school is going to be, isn't it?
Where's the chart?
No,
Charter school.
He asked, is this where the charter school is going to be?
The news indicated that's where it's going to be, but this
Never
plat
mind.
doesn't have anything to do with
Never mind, I
that.
already know the
Okay.
answer.
I'm unaware
It's a separate issue.
if that's going to be on there.
The answer is that's where the charter school is going.
There's someone in the audience raising their hand.
Yes, ma'am. Could you come up
You
to
need
the
to come to
mic?
the podium.
Could you come up to the mic, please? State your name.
Lisa McGinty with Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce. The building has not sold. We are not entertaining an offer at this moment. So just to the point of the question of whether the charter school is going there.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board members? Is there any comments, questions from the audience? This is a request for final approval. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
The motion has been made and properly second. All those in favor, raise your hand.
6-0-1.
Unanimous. The motion is approved.
Thank you.
Mr. Reed, who seconded that motion, please?
Who seconded that motion?
Oh, I did.
Thank you.
Patrick.
Next item by Goodwin Mills and Kaywood on behalf of K West. It's It's a public hearing for a development plan for a new building to be located on the west side of Parker Street at the intersection of Thomason Avenue, and it's a M3 district.
Good afternoon. I'm Darrell Strickland with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood, requesting the hearing on the development plan for this building over in the H&R Point area. It's a 10,500 square foot building for a contractor. The north part of it's going to be used as an office, center part is a warehouse, and the south part is a shed for storage. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you'd like to have. We've addressed all the city comments.
Okay, any comments, any questions?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I have a
Yes, sir.
question for Mr. Strickland. How you doing today, sir?
Doing fine, Kippy. How are you?
I'm all right. So explain why this parking is in the street. Is this parallel parking, or what kind of parking is this?
What you see cross-hatched will be just a concrete paving that allow truck turnarounds to go in and back up into the warehouse area. You can't really see it on that drawing, but there's a fence that runs north and south just to the, looking at this drawing, just to the right side of that cross-hatched area. It appears that that should be the right-of-way, but it's not.
That's where I was a little confused, because so what's in your hatch marks up here, is that part of the street or part of the property?
Part of the city right-of-way. It's not in the street itself, not in the paved part of the street, but it's in the city right-of-way.
I got you, okay.
Now, I talked to city engineering when we first started this, and this is what he suggested, so that's what we're doing. It's in process right now, the franchise.
Okay. Got a couple more questions that you may or may not be able to answer, but it says down here, the license agreement has been submitted for the parking area encroaching into Parker Avenue right-of-way. That license agreement is between whom?
The developer, the owner of the property, and the city of Montgomery.
So
Same thing we used to call a franchise.
I got you.
Before city
And
council.
so
New name.
we're not, if we approve this, we're not necessarily approving the agreement.
No, city council will.
That's what I want to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a separate process we have to go through
All
for
right.
that particular item.
But it's a development plan anyway,
Oh, yeah, well, that's right.
so it's just a public.
But it is a city council issue.
The agreement is a city council issue, not something for,
That's after this, right? After this, Haley.
gotcha.
I don't know
Okay.
if it'll be the next meeting, but it'll be the next meeting or two. It'll be heard at the city council as soon as we get all the paperwork.
Okay. All right, any other comments, questions? Kippy, you satisfied?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against it? All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Next item by Goodwin Mills and Kaywood is on behalf of Premier Cajun. It's a public hearing for development plan for a new building to be located on the east side of Northeastern Boulevard, 500 feet north of Roy Hodges Boulevard in a M1 district.
My name's Elizabeth Brasington with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood, presenting Premier Cajun Kings, requesting approval of this development plan, and it's like a fast food building, and there's going to be two entranceways. One's off the service lane of Eastern Boulevard, and the other one is from the adjoining property owner, Burger King. There's access drive to enter through that way, and there will be a drive-through window.
Okay. Any comments from the planning commission? Any questions? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this? If not, do we have the public hearing is complete. Tommy?
Next item is by Goodwin Mills and Kaywood on behalf of Montgomery East. It's a request for final approval of Premier Cajun Plat Number 1 on the east side of Northeastern Boulevard, 500 feet north of Roy Hodges Boulevard. It's a M1 district.
This lot it's 10.86 acres, and it creates one lot for commercial use of this fast food restaurant.
Okay. Any comments, questions? Anyone in the audience? If not, motion's in order.
So move.
All right, Mr. Kippy.
Second.
All right. Cruz. Okay? All right. All those in favor? Thank you, Elizabeth.
Next item by Larry Speaks and Associates on behalf of Cook Foods Incorporated. It's a public hearing for development plan for 2 additions to a building at 3500 West Boulevard. It's a M3 district.
Stephen Speaks with Larry Speaks and Associates representing Cook Foods. This site's located off the Western Boulevard. Back a couple years ago, they made a major expansion onto this plant. Spent several $1 million. I don't know if y'all have driven by and seen it, but they've got a lot of it complete by now. They've come back and they've got two smaller little additions. I say little, they're about 6,000 feet total, but 2 smaller additions they want to make to increase the size of a break room. They call it a welfare addition, and then also an equipment room on the side of the building, what I'm going to call the old part of the plant in the back. This new part is in the front, closest to the boulevard.
Okay. Any questions? Any comments? Anyone wish to speak for or against it? If not, we'll declare that the public hearing has been held. All right. Next.
Next item is by Larry Speaks and Associates on behalf of Mick Ashcraft, requesting to rezone 3 parcels of land containing 18.39 acres on the west side of Old Wetumpka Highway, 1,000 feet south of Wetumpka Highway, from Ag 2 to B2.
This location is Capital RV Park. There's an existing RV park there now. The intersection of 231 and Old Wetumpka Highway is just off this page to the north. The RV park sits on the west side of Old Wetumpka Highway now. It's operational. It's been in operation for several years. There's some property to the south that will connect to the RV park. The purpose in the rezoning to B2 is to rezone this property to the south for the expansion of the RV park to the south. So that's the reason in the access. Just so y'all know, access will still come through the main RV park. There's an office that sits up here. The access points will stay the same. They're just going to expand the park further south.
So part of what they're rezoning or attempt to rezone already has trailers on it.
There's a piece right here that actually I think it's already rezoned. Helen and I have been talking about this. We're trying to clean it up, but I think the original rezoning came to here, and there's RVs parked here now, and then he does have some RVs parked here that have creeped across that line. That's the purpose in going ahead and getting it all rezoned and getting it approved. Right here on this, that's the 4. This pond is existing that's out there now. If y'all drove out there, you probably saw all that.
So why is your drawing different than mine?
Which drawing?
Which drawing you got?
The one
you got that one?
I got the one that's on the screen. You got one where the green line is different than the one on the screen.
That's that line I'm telling you about. This was platted. The plat line comes to here.
All right.
This was all platted as one lot. Helen and I got to talking, and she said we need to clean up the zoning through here. The line is not defined well, so we decided to just go ahead and include all that in the rezoning. Okay, but the actual plat line comes to here.
There's a very small portion on the east property line right abutting the Old Wetumpka Highway that didn't get rezoned, and he owns it, and we needed that rezoned. There's a parcel on the west property line that's going to be the septic system that doesn't show up on what he's showing you on his site plan. If you look at your portion on the north part of the green line, you see where it says 9 existing RVs and then 9 existing. That part's already zoned B2, but it shows up in his site plan. And then right below there, it shows 4 and 4. That's not zoned yet.
We're cleaning up the zoning. I think that's why that green line's up there,
It's
Helen.
small, but it's just.
I understand. I do understand what you just explained. And the fact is, what I'm looking at was different than what I was, and I didn't know if that little strip, I don't know what you call it, that little horizontal strip is part of the proposed rezoning request, or if it's already included.
And the colors on our map that we've given you are kind of hard to see through some of that. You've got to really look hard to see it because the red is under the lines.
I think
and then
I
we've
see
got
it
the
now.
orange.
I didn't really catch that. I see what he's saying now.
We didn't do a good job with these colors.
On
fixing
that
where you can
color,
see
and there's
it.
some overlap in the colors on
Yeah.
the zoning map.
Yeah.
I think
So-
that's what it is. I think I see what it is. There's some red underneath the orange.
Yeah, we're going to have to pay more attention to that.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I didn't look at that very close.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm asking is, we're actually looking at the drawing that you have in terms of what you're asking us to consider tonight versus what we have in our packet.
What you have in your package is what he's considering for rezoning.
Well, I'm saying, but we should ignore this sheet and go by the sheet that he has on
Well,
his.
you go by this site plan right here for the rezoning. We only attached the other one for the concept of what would be there.
Okay.
Okay?
Bottom line, if we approve it, all of it's gonna be rezoned. I mean, gonna be the
You're-
same.
you're-
zone.
you're right, Cruz.
That's what she's trying to clean up. She's trying to get it all to make sure it all matches in her maps
And
internally.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out the differences, but I got it. I'm clear now. I'm clear. It just, from here, I'm looking at a drawing that's different than what I'm looking at here, and I'm
Right.
just trying to figure out.
I came to the plat line.
I got
and
you.
she's going up here to clean this. There's a section up here she's trying to clean up.
So
with this
now what
rezone
you're
to
explaining, is that what's written in here, or are we amending what's?
I think you've got the legal description, don't
We
you,
have the
Helen?
legal description for all of
That's
this.
right, okay.
That's right. She's got it. That's right.
All right, we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Any other comments or questions? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against it? If not, a motion's in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Unanimous.
No-
Thank you, Stephen.
All right, thank you.
The ninth item was withdrawn. It was a request for rezoning at Taylor Road and Halcyon Boulevard. It's been withdrawn. 10th item is Peel Green Engineering on behalf of the Montgomery Housing Authority requesting final approval of Columbus Square Plat Number 2 on the northwest corner of North Union Street and Columbus Street. It's a T4R Smart Code District.
I'm Peel Green with Peel Green Engineering. This proposed plat is for the construction of Columbus Square 2 apartments. They just finished Columbus Square 1. Now we're looking to do a next phase east of North Union Street. And the plat's just required for final approval or development plan before it's over.
How many units we got in there, Pat, do you know off the top of your head?
No. And I don't know, it's the same number of units that we did in the first phase.
In the first
It's
phase,
80.
yeah.
80.
Buddy, it's 80.
80.
80.
80 in the first phase, I think it's about 80 in the second phase.
Okay, so 160 total.
Total.
Plus or minus.
Plus or minus,
Plus or
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
80 sounds right. We got a little more land here, but it's, the unit mix is a little different.
Okay, okay.
Pep, just a dumb question. Whatever happened to that retention pond that was on the other side? Did it grow to accommodate this second phase, or were you able to?
Yes. It'll grow and then eventually it'll be moved.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
Does the
Anyone in?
Montgomery Housing Authority actually own the property? Will they actually own and operate this? Or is this a private person?
It's a private enterprise that will develop it through the Housing Authority. I don't know exactly how that works. The Housing Authority owns the land at this stage. The land hadn't changed hands. But it's financed through the Alabama Housing Finance Authority. So the developer would end up owning it and paying the Housing Authority, I would assume. I don't know exactly, Frank, how that's done.
Well, there was concern by a member that's not here about this. Right, yeah, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's concerned.
Could you please speak into your mic?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. There was concern by a member that's not here. Y'all may have gotten the email about it also, about this particular property. And it doesn't affect whether we approve it or not, but I think there was a concern about him that the Housing Authority, we're going back to the same way that we had done before with Housing Authority, which is segregating certain parts of our population into certain parts of the city, and we were trying to avoid that, I thought. And that's why I was asking who owned this and what their intent was, the Housing Authority, or who's pushing this. I guess that's.
Frank, I can speak to that a little bit.
Okay.
This is a mixed finance situation that involves the developer, the housing authority. The city's got some money in it, and there's equity in it from different entities. What this really is, that's what we used to call Old Trentham Court.
Yeah, I know where it is, yeah.
And it was demolished, and they're actually replacing housing that was in there at a lower density than before. This all had to get approved through the HUD and the fair housing folks up there in Washington or wherever they are. And so your concern is one that is valid. However, it did go through those approval processes which allowed the development to occur.
Okay.
Anything else? Right?
No.
You okay? All right, anybody else have a comment or question? Anyone in the audience have a comment or question for or against? If not, motion's in order.
So move.
And that's Mr. Kippy, all right?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Reeves, all right. All those in favor? Thank you, thank you. You got the next one?
Mr.
Hardwick.
Oh, you opposed it?
I opposed it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you didn't ask for that.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw your hand up. I apologize. Okay.
6-1-0. Next item is by Pilgreen Engineering on behalf of Ryan Ridge Properties LLC. Request final approval of Ryan Ridge Plat Number 10 on the south and east ends of Ryan Ridge Loop, 600 feet south of Ryan Ridge Boulevard in a PUD district.
This is the next phase of Ryan Ridge that we're proposing. This, we redid the overall a few months back, and that was approved, and now we're looking to put this next phase in.
Okay. Any comments, questions? Not. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this? Not. Motion's in order.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
And second was Mr. Cook. All those in favor? Okey-doke. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is by Nikki Motley on their own behalf, requesting to rezone a lot at 3823 Southmont Drive from R75S to B2Q.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nikki Motley, and I'm just the property 3823 Southmont. I'm trying to rezone it for commercial to do a daycare center.
Do you own it?
Yes. Well, my uncle owns it, but we're doing the paperwork and stuff now so that I can get ownership of it. But he submitted the documents with the deed and stuff.
On that, will it just be for daycare, or will somebody live in there also?
Just be for daycare.
No one lived there?
No, sir.
Is it vacant now?
Yes.
This is a spot zoning situation, in my opinion.
Exactly.
And, you know, this is getting to be a little out of hand, in my opinion.
Long-range planning objects.
Yeah, this is in the middle of a neighborhood, is that right? I mean, it's...
My old neighborhood when I grew up.
Well, yeah,
I
buddy.
see this house.
Yeah. Nothing against your intentions, ma'am, but from a land use perspective, the use doesn't necessarily fit the surrounding areas. You got single-family homes that connect to your property and have a commercial establishment just slap dab in the middle of all that. It's kind of contrary to how, at least in my mind, the property ought to be used. So that's my opinion. But of course, we'll have others up here, but this is just a spot zoning situation that we need to stay away from, to be frank.
How long has it been vacant?
It's been over maybe a year or so, because he was renting it out as residential, and he couldn't keep anyone in the property, so.
There are several vacant houses in that area also, isn't there?
Correct.
Abandoned and all that?
Abandoned houses, yes.
The condition of it indicates it's been vacant a long time.
Do you have a daycare center somewhere else?
I'm a licensed home daycare provider as of right now, so.
So what does the land use plan recommend, staff?
Well,
It indicates single family.
single family is what
Okay,
they
I just
do.
wanted to get that out there, that's all.
The long-range planner is opposed to spot zoning, and the study they did indicated single family. And like you said, it's dead center of the residential.
Well, this area needs help, and we have vacant houses over there, and I may be the only one that, I've got two houses within a half a block of there that are rented and stay rented, and so I would not be opposed to it if you, I realize it's spot zoning, but I realize that the neighborhood needs some help right there.
Yeah, I rode through there also. It needs something in that area. It's, I know we got the spot zone issue, but something needs to be done to try to bring life back to that area.
Okay, any other comments? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against it?
How long would it take for you to do the work and open it?
Not long, because I'm actually in the process of just doing the things that I need to get done for DHR approval in case I get approved for it or not. So it went maybe 2.5, 3 months.
How many kids?
It'll be more than 6. If I could get 14, 15.
Parking?
There is an area for parking in the driveway.
Will you have workers?
Yes.
How many workers?
2, maybe 3.
And have you begun renovation, or you're waiting until you get?
I have started renovation, but I haven't gone full force until I know if I'm approved or not.
Okay, any other comments?
No, I'm done with it, yeah.
If not, motion's in order.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Move to approve and second. All those in favor? All those opposed? I don't know what that worked out to be. Give me the math.
You didn't get 5.
I'm sorry?
3 to 4.
3 to 4?
Motion fails.
Okay.
Correct.
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
We would love to do it and love to help you, but
That's fine.
you heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Tell her about appeal.
I'm sorry?
Can she appeal it to city council?
Ma'am, yeah, that's a good point. You can appeal this to the city council if you wish to do so. And what is that? She's got 30 days?
15 days.
15 days.
15 days.
You'll get a letter on it.
Yeah.
You'll get a letter of instruction on it.
Okay.
Did you understand that?
But you do, we just want to make sure you understood, you could appeal our recommendation to the city council.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Y'all have work.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Hey, buddy, before we conclude tonight, I just wanted to just throw a philosophical issue on the table. I know areas like this need help, but you know, sometimes when you have to consider these decisions, you have to look at the highest and best use of the property. And, you know, it just seems to me, if you're thinking about the neighbors that are still there, is this really the highest and best use of the property of the folks who remain in these?
It sounded like there were more vacancies than there were residents. Though.
But I don't think anybody convinced me of that. I just saw that as a spot zoning.
Patrick and
Mr. Tate, they can do that use in a residential with 6 or less.
But she said she has more than 6. That's why I asked
That's why she was seeking the rezoning.
But that's why I asked how many
Right.
children, and by the time you add staff and kids, traffic, parking, and the other related accessories that go along with the daycare, I think it would have an impact.
It becomes more commercial that way. Sure
Yeah.
does.
And I just thought that would be something from a philosophical standpoint to point out.
Well, you know, I think everybody has a heart for it. It just, you want to do it, and you want, but as soon as you open up Pandora's box,
That's right.
Here we go. All right, y'all, we still have to approve the minutes so if anybody, everybody's looked at the minutes, and I'd ask, let's do it at the end, Helen, for the reasons we talked about earlier today. So, any comments on the minutes? If not, a motion's in order to approve. Motion?
Motion to approve.
All right.
Second.
All those in favor? Anything else, Tammy?
No, sir, we're,
I'll tell y'all, yeah. All right, next meeting is 22nd of March. Is that right?
I will.
22nd? Okay.
You mean you gotta make some money?